maybe just for a second, a passing shadow at the edge of your thoughts. But you will think about it, because you always do. Every human being alive on this planet carries the same quiet knowledge inside them, the knowledge that one day they will simply stop existing. And here is the thing that should genuinely stop you in your tracks. No other creature on Earth does this. The lion does not lie awake at night wondering when it will die. The dolphin, one of the most intelligent animals alive, has no concept that its life will end. Only you do. So why? Why are humans the only species on this entire planet that knows it's going to die? And the answer is not simply that we are smarter than other animals. The real explanation goes much deeper than intelligence. It touches the very thing that makes us human, the same ability that built civilizations, created religion, invented art, and drives every decision you will make today. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly why humans develop this awareness. You will discover what this knowledge does to us psychologically, and you will find out why, in the most unexpected way, knowing you will die might be the very reason human civilization exists at all. Let's go back, not as far as last time, only about 70,000 years. Our ancestors are sitting around a fire somewhere in Africa. Small group, maybe 30 people. They have survived another day, avoided predators, found food, stayed warm. On the surface, they look just like any other social animal. Wolves do this. Elephants do this. Chimpanzees do this. Groups of animals surviving together is not unusual. But something is different around this fire. One of them, an older member of the group, has died, and the others are not simply moving on. They are staying, sitting, looking at the body. Some of them are making sounds that carry a weight no animal sound has ever carried before. They are grieving, not because they lost a useful member of the group. Animals do that too. They mourn the loss of companions. But these humans are doing something no other animal has ever done. They're looking at that body and thinking about themselves. That will be me. One day, I will be the one lying there. And then what? That thought, that single terrifying thought, changed everything about what it means to be human. So how did this happen? How do humans develop this awareness when no other species did? The answer starts with the same thing that separated us from every other human species that ever existed. Language. But not just language in the basic sense. What we developed was the ability to think about time, specifically to think about a future that does not exist yet, to imagine events that have not happened. Scientists call this episodic future thinking, and it is extraordinarily rare in the animal kingdom. Think about what your dog understands about time. Your dog lives almost entirely in the present moment. It knows it is hungry now. It knows you're home now. It does not sit and worry about whether you will come home tomorrow. It does not plan for next winter. It does not imagine its own old age. But you do. You think about next year. You think about retirement. You think about your children's future. You plan, you save, and here is where it gets genuinely fascinating. The exact same mental machinery that lets you imagine next summer's holiday also lets you imagine your own death. They are the same ability, the same neural pathway, the same cognitive tool. You cannot have one without the other. To imagine the future at all is to be capable of imagining the end of your future. But wait, if this is just about intelligence and language, why do other intelligent animals not develop this awareness? Chimpanzees, our closest living relatives, share 98.7% of our DNA. They use tools. They have social hierarchies. They communicate in complex ways. Some have been taught sign language and can hold simple conversations. But when a chimpanzee loses a companion, it grieves. It mourns, and then it moves on. It does not look at that death and think, that will be me. Why not? Because language alone is not enough. What chimpanzees lack, what almost every other species on Earth lacks, is what scientists call a theory of mind combined with temporal self-awareness. Theory of mind means the ability to understand that other beings have inner lives, thoughts, feelings, experiences that are separate from your own. Humans develop theory of mind as children around age 4. You suddenly realize that other people have their own thoughts, their own perspective, their own inner world. And once you can do that, you can apply it to yourself across time. You can look at a dead body and think, that person had an inner life just like mine, and their inner life ended, and mine will too. This is the leap no other species makes. But here is where it gets even more interesting. This awareness does not just cause fear. It causes something much more powerful: terror management. In the 1970s and 80s, a group of psychologists developed a theory called terror management theory. The idea is deceptively simple. Humans are aware they will die. This awareness, if left completely unmanaged, would be psychologically paralyzing. So the human mind developed extraordinary strategies to manage this terror. And those strategies built civilization. Think about it. Religion, every religion ever created by humanity, is at its core a response to mortality. Every afterlife, every heaven, every reincarnation, every promise that death is not the end. These are answers to the question your ancient ancestors first asked around that fire. What happens after? Art, literature, music. Every human being who has ever created something lasting, a painting, a book, a building, a song, was in some way driven by the desire to leave something behind, to exist beyond their own death, to matter after they are gone. Legacy. Every parent who has raised a child, every teacher who has shaped a student, every person who has planted a tree they will never sit under. They are all managing the terror in their own quiet way. Even this video. Even the fact that you are sitting here right now, curious about a question this big. That curiosity itself is a form of terror management. Understanding death makes it less terrifying. Knowledge is how humans cope. And this is the part that genuinely takes your breath away. Every cathedral ever built, every symphony ever composed, every scientific discovery ever made, every war ever fought over ideology or legacy or meaning, all of it traces back to that single moment around a fire 70,000 years ago, when one human looked at a dead body and had a thought no creature had ever had before. That will be me. But here is the twist that almost nobody talks about. This awareness of death, as terrifying as it sounds, may actually be the greatest gift evolution ever gave us. Here's why. Animals that do not know they will die do not plan for the future. They do not build things that last beyond their own lifetime. They do not sacrifice today for a better tomorrow. They cannot. Because to truly sacrifice today for a future you will not live to see, you need to understand that you will not live to see it. A bee builds a hive, but the bee does not know it is building something that will outlast its own life. It follows instinct. A human plants a forest, and the human knows, fully, consciously, painfully knows, that they will never see those trees at full height, and they plant them anyway. That is not instinct. That is something else entirely. That is meaning. And meaning, the ability to act in service of something larger than your own survival, is the thing that makes human civilization possible. Without the awareness of death, there is no reason to build anything that lasts. Without the awareness of death, there is no art, no religion, no science, no legacy, no love that transcends the moment. The very thing that terrifies us most is the engine that drives everything we are most proud of. So what does this mean for you, sitting here right now, in your life, today? It means that every time you feel that quiet shadow, that passing awareness, that moment when you think, I will not always be here, you are not experiencing a flaw in your psychology. You are experiencing the thing that makes you most human. That shadow has a name. Philosophers have debated it for thousands of years. Religions have built entire worlds around it. Scientists have spent careers trying to understand it. And every time you feel it, every time you sit with the weight of your own mortality, you are joining an unbroken conversation that stretches back 70,000 years to a group of humans sitting around a fire, asking the same question you are asking right now. What does it mean that I know I will die? The answer, as best as anyone has ever found, is this. It means you are the kind of creature that can ask the question. And that is not nothing. So why are humans the only species that know they will die? Because we developed the ability to imagine a future that does not exist yet. And that same ability, that extraordinary gift of temporal imagination, means we can also imagine a future in which we no longer exist. We cannot have the hope without the fear. We cannot have the planning without the dread. We cannot have the meaning without the mortality. And here is the final thought to sit with tonight. Every human being who has ever lived, every ancestor in your unbroken chain of survivors, faced this same awareness. And not one of them was destroyed by it. They built things. They loved people. They created meaning. They found reasons to get up in the morning despite knowing, fully, consciously knowing, that their time was limited. And because they did, you are here, carrying that same awareness. and that same capacity for meaning. That shadow is not your enemy. It is your inheritance. If this made you think about something you usually try not to think about, that was the point. Subscribe for more questions like this one. And drop a comment. How do you think about death? I would genuinely love to read your answers.